How's it going, all of y'all? Thank you so much for watching another video. Do trust funds gain interest? So I just discovered my Grammys. This was the question that I got asked literally. Will any notates she set aside money for my cousin and I in separate trusts? My question is this: do trust funds earn interest? I don't know what type of account it is exactly, and I don't get it until I'm 25, another 5 years. It was created a few years ago. I would have quite a few years worth, of course, because it was quite a few years ago. If there's any interest, it'd be nice to know. Now, it depends. The quick answer is it depends on what the trust invested in. Now, for example, my own trust has stocks, bonds, annuities, CDs. Of course, it grows. Of course, it grows. But that's a catch. That's a catch, though. So let's back this up a little and let's talk about how does a trust fund work. Now, trust funds can hold lots of kind of properties, from cash to investments to real estate to artwork. You heard correctly. They can even hold the whole business in them as well. Basically, anything that's valuable can go in a trust fund. So trust funds are nothing but entities, okay? What does that mean if you're trying to understand how trust funds work? See, putting money in a trust lets you basically pass a property to someone in a structured way, where you can impose rules as well. For example, you might say that your beneficiary can use these funds to pay off debt, or you might, the most common one, impose rules on how old the beneficiary needs to be before she or he gains control over the money. That's the answer to the question that I got asked. So to the bottom line, do trust funds grow? Do trusts earn interest? You see, a trust fund is a vehicle essentially that contains other assets. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that not every trust fund is the same, okay? You need to put assets or property into a trust fund. So if the assets you have inside the trust fund grow, for example, investments that grow over time or earn interest, then yes, they do grow and they do earn interest. Now, a trust account can be as simple as a bank account where the money is owned by a trust rather than an individual like other bank accounts. Now, some trust accounts can also earn interest. Generally speaking, this interest is paid to the account beneficiary. But here's the catch though, here's the catch. Trust fund management fees. You see, there are many different types of trust funds and therefore different types of fees and cost amounts associated with setting up and managing a trust fund just as well. Just not only to open it up, to set it up, but to manage it. Now here's the catch. A management fee is one of the most common fees associated with a trust fund, and it just makes sense, like you put money into something and they take your money and they do something with it and they hold it until you give it to until they can give it to somebody that you want them to give the money. So it just makes sense, the fees involved in it. But the assets management fee is a straightforward fee charged on a trust fund. It is expressed as a fixed percentage of the total assets being managed. I repeat what I just said. Is a fixed percentage of the total assets being managed. Meaning that is a fixed, say 5%, 6% of the money that you have. Meaning that if the money grows, it goes with the percentage. Okay, so that was the catch that I mentioned before. The rate obviously differs from fund to fund and is inclusive of other small costs incurred when managing the trust fund just as well. Now, some advisors charge a flat fee, while others just charges, a commission per transaction as well. Now, if the assets invested are riskier, the annual assets management fee is higher. Common sense. Now, the fee takes into account tax harvesting just as well, rebalancing and re-examination of your portfolio. So, for example, a famous, the most one Vanguard, like all mutual funds, charges a management fee. Their fees are lower than the most, if not all, mutual fund companies, even allowing for the fact that they specialize in index funds and the ETFs, which stands for exchange traded funds. If you don't know, they are able to charge these lower fees because they are specialized in high volume funds. Okay, so they can offer a cheaper price, lower fees. Index funds do not require that type of management effort of actively managed funds because the need to scrutinize purchase is just eliminated. Which brings us to the bottom line. A trust is a great way to manage and distribute your assets, if you will, when you're no longer capable of doing so. It comes with many benefits, and also with a variety of fees, of course, primarily associated with the management of the trust. So it is important to understand the various management fees and if setting up the trust is really worth the cost incurred. Hope this one helps you out. They do grow, they do pay you interest. But because you need to pay fees, of course, the fees is a fixed percentage, as I said before. So you do your calculation, you do your math. Thank you so much for watching.